The intense aura around Khloe was radiating as she questioned Gamma about making contact. Both Saki and Khloe gazed intensely. Gamma was bewildered, unable to reconcile Khloe's prior lack of reaction to Saki sitting next to him with her current strong reaction to the mere mention of contact info. His friend, confused by Khloe's sudden shift, questioned Khloe's outburst. Saki, being inherently troublesome, also inquired about Khloe's strange behavior. Gamma firmly told Saki to back away, trying to de-escalate the rising tension with Khloe. Saki was taken aback by his tone, asking what was happening and insisting Gamma should understand Khloe better since he had known her longer, showing clear anger at his apparent cluelessness about Khloe's feelings. Gamma wondered about Saki's motives, but his attention snapped back to Khloe calling his name. Khloe, now ready for a serious confrontation, demanded to know why he hadn't given her his number when he had apparently given it to Saki. Gamma replied simply that his was restricted. Becoming increasingly agitated and slipping into a Yandere state, Khloe reminded him tearfully that he had promised to be her prince, her protector. Saki, seizing Gamma's arm, exclaimed, "What the heck is wrong with her?" reacting to Khloe's alarming intensity. Gamma, trying to explain Khloe's current state, asked if Saki understood what a Yandere was. Saki, with a playful, cat-like demeanor, asked innocently, "What's a Yandere?" feigning ignorance of the English term as she was Japanese. As Saki spoke, his friend, visibly at his limit with the escalating drama, gently but firmly grabbed Saki by the face, pulling her back from Gamma, asking if she truly grasped the dangerous situation they were in. Saki grew angry at being touched, threatening to kill his friend for his interference. His friend, observing Khloe, realized the truly unstable person in the room was Khloe, not Saki. At that moment, Khloe produced a box cutter, its blade now looking menacing. Things had escalated significantly and dangerously. Khloe radiated intense possessiveness and instability. Her Yandere state was now fully active. Gamma knew this was different from her usual behavior and needed a quick de-escalation. He mentally cursed himself for forgetting to watch his Yandere study videos for tips. Khloe advanced towards him, declaring that his attention would be solely on her from now on. Gamma tried calmly reasoning with her, but Khloe, consumed by her Yandere tendencies, swung the box cutter aggressively at him. Gamma narrowly dodged the attack. His friend expressed his concern for Gamma's safety, while Saki, surprisingly, seemed impressed by Khloe's actions, finding the dangerous situation exciting. Khloe remained focused on Gamma, continuously swinging the box cutter, accusing him of making her sad and neglecting her. Gamma skillfully evaded the frantic attacks. Khloe yelled, fully unraveling, accusing him of always being with others and not paying enough attention to her. This time, the box cutter was aimed at Saki, but Gamma swiftly slapped away Khloe's attack, protecting Saki from harm. Saki seemed more interested in the unfolding drama but remained unhelpful. Khloe focused her intense gaze back on Gamma, yelling that she always did her best for him, giving her all to their relationship, and feeling deeply unappreciated. With a swift, decisive motion, a slash occurred. His friend watched in disbelief. Saki looked annoyed or confused by the sudden turn. Gamma had managed to pin Khloe down, holding her hands firmly against a nearby table in a surprisingly intimate and controlling position. "Let's talk this out, Khloe," Gamma uttered calmly, trying to regain control of the situation. Khloe was still visibly in her Yandere state as Gamma tried to get her to release the box cutter. Gamma urged her to calm down and listen to him, but Khloe yelled that he never contacted her, so what was there to talk about, feeling rejected and ignored by him? Still holding her down, Gamma explained that he wanted to speak with her face-to-face. Phone communication felt too cold and impersonal for what he wanted to say. He inwardly thought, "Oh boy, things are getting intense between us," acknowledging the charged atmosphere. Khloe repeated his words, "Yeah, between us," as Gamma was literally face-to-face with her, their proximity undeniable. He leaned in and softly whispered thanks for always thinking of him and caring so much. He half expected a kiss in that moment, but it didn't happen, leading him to think they might wait for a more appropriate time. His friend blushed at the intimate scene. Saki looked visibly pissed off by their closeness. Gamma told Khloe that even during the Buffalo Dungeon incident, he had relied on her, so she had no reason to be upset or feel neglected by him now. She seemed to snap out of her Yandere mode, her face flushing red with embarrassment or perhaps affection. Gamma inwardly sighed in relief, thinking he had successfully navigated the dangerous situation. His friend asked if he was alright. Gamma assured him he was fine. Khloe, still blushing, asked what they should discuss now that things had calmed down. Gamma calmly suggested they clean up the mess. His friend readily agreed to help. Saki, however, left without a word, still visibly upset by the events. Gamma noticed her abrupt departure, wondering what bothered her now, feeling the drama was endless and exhausting. After noon, his friend and Saki were contemplating Gamma and the recent dramatic events. His friend reflected that Khloe had unleashed terrifying killing intent when her possessiveness towards Gamma was triggered, a twisted, dangerous form of love. More surprising to him was Gamma's demeanor while pinning Khloe down, a sweet, reassuring smile that masked an underlying intensity and complete control over the situation. His friend believed Gamma preferred persuasion but blended it skillfully with necessary force when required, knowing how to use fear effectively. Gamma might appear villainous at times, his friend thought, but he possessed qualities of a natural ruler. His friend felt certain Gamma was destined for greatness. His friend then looked at Saki, asking why she was sulking. Saki, engrossed in her phone, denied being upset. His friend asked about her phone activity. Saki explained she was deleting videos because her subscribers weren't following instructions properly. His friend, curious, asked if it was the video titled Perfect Yandere Response Strategy, Learn This and Life Gets Easier. Saki showed him her screen, confirming it was indeed that video. Saki claimed it wasn't a professional video, just something she made out of boredom, but the narrator suspected her actions were fueled by jealousy after seeing Gamma handle Khloe's Yandere episode so effectively. Gamma, it turned out, had actually watched Saki's videos earlier to learn how to deal with such situations. His friend was shocked to see the same video on Saki's phone, noting its impressive 210K views and wishing for similar popularity for his own content. His friend asked if it wasn't too popular to delete. Saki dismissed it nonchalantly, stating, "Whatever, I don't need it anymore." His friend replied, "Sure, your call." His friend then asked about her channel name, Saki-chan's Japanese, teasing its simplicity and asking if she actually taught Japanese on it. Saki defensively said she had just picked a random name. His friend teased her further, embarrassing Saki, who then threatened to kill him if he didn't stop his teasing. Library, an announcement stated that a 3-day deserted island survival training exercise would be held on Avalon Island, starting on Wednesday, 14/1-4. The library itself was a traditional, quiet space. The training had been announced well in advance and was treated as a sort of camping trip by most students. Gamma, however, was seriously preparing, accumulating books on island survival, poisonous plants, and various survival tips, believing this knowledge would be sufficient for the exercise. The training didn't directly affect grades but was meant to evaluate practical skills. As a former player of the game this world was based on, Gamma recalled this event vividly. It was when Leon, the game's protagonist, acquired Bamong's hilt, a powerful artifact, and where romance began to develop between Abel and Leon. Gamma thought the emotional barrier between them would finally break during this event. He had been invested in their romance when he played the game but felt no jealousy now that he was in this world. Since arriving, he had become cynical about romance due to the constant chaos and danger surrounding him. Elders were pursuing him for unknown reasons, a mysterious instructor seemed to be watching him, and he needed to recruit members for his club. Thinking of Abel and Leon's budding romance, he told himself that romance wasn't for him right now, sighing that youth and romance were perhaps for the next life. What truly interested Gamma about the Avalon Island event was Bamong, the legendary his friend that could be either holy or demonic depending on the wielder. He desired this powerful his friend, knowing its approximate location and immense power from his game knowledge. Tracking the pieces of Bamong was a significant story arc in the original game. However, knowing the locations didn't guarantee he could acquire it. There were specific conditions, such as its master has arrived, or the sacred one proving their worthiness. Gamma remembered clicking yes to awaken the blessing of miracle to save the world when he played the game as Leon. Bamong was literally destined for Leon. Acquiring it himself felt like a pipe dream. He decided to focus on practical preparation for survival instead. Avalon Island was described as deserted, with no reported monsters, making it relatively safe. He hoped there would be no ambushes like the one he faced at Scopuli. Due to Headmaster Media's order, Zeke, the Sword Emperor, was supervising this training exercise. Gamma wondered about Avalon's true significance and grabbed a history book to learn more. It was unusual for Zeke, a figure of his stature, to supervise a freshman camping trip, which Gamma recognized as a divergence from the original game story. He saw this as a potential benefit, thinking he might achieve his secret goals safely with Zeke present. He explained internally that he hadn't come to the library just for basic survival tips. Ancient knowledge was often hidden in old books. He, too, had a specific hidden secret he aimed to find on Avalon Island. Gamma returned to his table with a stack of books. He described Avalon from his game knowledge, located in the far western sea, a mysterious island where the terrain shifted magically. The center of the island held a place called Queen's Lake. Minority cultures in the game world called it the Land of Beginning or Paradise. It was currently uninhabited by humans. This was all game knowledge. Gamma was annoyed that he might have to search the entire library for the specific information he needed. Suddenly, a blond guy approached his table. It was Leon, the protagonist of the game. "You're here too?" he asked, recognizing Gamma. Gamma looked up from his books. Female students in the library sighed audibly at the sight of Leon. The hero's hand rested familiarly on Gamma's shoulder. Leon was holding a book titled Intro to Magic, which seemed out of character for him at this stage of the story. Gamma thought Leon might be trying to learn basic magic after the midterms but reasoned he shouldn't be studying such basic magic now in the original story's timeline. Seeing the hero acting differently, Gamma began to doubt the plot he remembered. Leon asked what book Gamma was reading. Gamma replied he was doing prep for the Avalon Island training. They exchanged a knowing look. Leon commented that Gamma was very diligent. Gamma mentally conceded the point. He was indeed busy with training and research, all for his survival against the inevitable demon war. Gamma told Leon that he had to care for his own future. Leon remarked sadly, "You're different from me, Gamma, and I am different from you now." Gamma recalled Leon asking him about his origin previously, hinting at Leon's awareness of something unusual about Gamma. Gamma thought Leon hadn't completely deviated from his game persona but felt different now, sad, conflicted, and burdened by his destiny. Leon prepared to leave, telling Gamma to keep researching, reminding him the library would close soon and to get back safely. Gamma thanked him for the odd, almost fatherly advice. Watching Leon depart, Gamma wondered if his change in demeanor was due to the burden of being a hero. A panel showed an ethereal light and darkness weighing on Leon's shoulders, symbolizing his immense responsibility. Gamma hurried to find his information before the library closed. D-Day, the training grounds, everyone had gathered for the Avalon Island training. The prominent waifus of the academy met: Rachel, Saki, Abel, and Khloe. Rachel spotted Saki and noted she hadn't seen Shrimp Khloe either, using a derogatory nickname. Abel was also present. Saki greeted them. Khloe seemed to fixate on Abel. The multi-hair color waifus faced each other, a silent standoff. Abel politely asked Saki if she had prepared for the training. Saki confidently said she'd do her usual and asked Abel the same question. Rachel, ready to stir things up, commented that Saki had snuck into the advanced class, teasing, "School life must be fun." Saki calmly replied that her placement was through proper procedure. Rachel provocatively asked if Abel was just going to watch Gamma be stolen away by someone else. Abel urged Rachel to stop teasing. Rachel, irritated at being interrupted, insisted she was telling the truth. She listed Saki's recent interactions with Gamma, the Buffalo Dungeon, the club activities, and now this training. Saki coolly stated that Gamma had planned to train alone during this exercise. Khloe confirmed this, saying Gamma had things he needed to do alone. This information was new to Rachel and Abel, intriguing them. Rachel seized the opportunity. "So, during this 3-day training, no one's officially paired up with Gamma yet, right?" Saki looked confused by the question. Abel looked suspicious of Rachel's intentions. Rachel, determined, declared that Gamma had said he wanted to go alone, but he hadn't said, "Don't follow me, right?" Saki sarcastically noted her amazing logic. Rachel confidently stated that they all wanted to be with Gamma. She then proposed a fair and square game, the Rachel game. The other waifus were curious. Abel blushed slightly at the implication. Rachel explained the rules of her game. Avalon's shifting terrain meant random arrival points on the island for everyone. Finding other students would be a challenge in itself. Saki got impatient, but Rachel continued, "Whoever found Gamma first got him, winning the right to spend the entire training period with him. The others would have to back off. The winner would have Gamma exclusive rights." All the waifus, even the initially reluctant Abel, showed clear interest. Abel blushed deeply at the thought. Rachel declared that the winner could use charm, cling to him, or do anything to win his attention, but there would be no interference from the losers. How did that sound? Saki was interested and suggested they take a verification photo with Gamma as proof. Khloe liked the idea and was determined to win. Rachel was ready to see Khloe's improvement. Abel turned bright red at the phrase exclusive rights. This waifu clearly couldn't stop thinking about Gamma, especially since even Zeke, her grandfather, had acknowledged him. "You're into him, aren't you?" Rachel asked Abel directly, noticing her strong reaction. Abel, flustered, apologized, then stated her pride as a Neelan meant she had no time for such petty games. She declared she was out and wouldn't play, implying she would win Gamma's attention regardless of any game. Rachel accepted her withdrawal. Rachel explained that Abel was busy with special training. Gamma arrived at the training grounds, looking tired from researching all night for his secret objective. He noted everything important on his phone. Headmaster Media had advised bringing light equipment, even though Avalon wasn't known as a monster zone. Gamma, however, had packed 24 sashimi knives, plus his trusty box cutter. Media, acting motherly, had asked if he had brought enough medicine and clothes, even suggesting he pack 3 pairs of black underwear. Gamma had thanked her and assured her he was ready. Thinking of the underwear suggestion, Gamma mused that Media was like a real mom or grandma to him sometimes. Gamma felt prepared for the training. He noticed the purple-haired instructors present. He knew one of them could be Ray or Kim, the assassin sent after him. Gamma watched them, remembering the description: female, purple hair and eyes, fair height. He was uncertain of her intentions, but he knew the island was perfect for an ambush. The shifting terrain made disappearing easy, which could also be useful for him. He didn't like using his blade on people, but he wouldn't let himself die. His friend was sketching one of the instructors. Gamma recalled the sketch. About 3 instructors fit the description, and one of them was the real Kim. Annoyed, he wondered how he was supposed to identify her among all the purple-haired women. Gamma sighed. Someone called his name. It was Zeke, the Sword Emperor, dressed casually in sandals, shorts, and a beach shirt, looking ready to relax on the island. Abel blushed deeply, seeing Gamma talking to her grandfather. Zeke wisely said that talent combined with hard work multiplies results. He advised Gamma to rest and enjoy the training exercise. Gamma thanked him and wished him a good catch, implying Zeke was going fishing. Zeke coughed, then blushed, much like Abel, at Gamma's clever response. He thanked Gamma and headed towards the gate to the island. Gamma thought his response to Zeke was cool. Abel, still staring at Gamma, seeming to silently tell him to stay away from her grandpa, walked past him without a word. Gamma didn't know why she was upset with him. Saki was sneaking up behind him. Gamma smiled inwardly. Abel would have Leon to occupy her soon enough. Gamma sensed Saki's stealthy approach, prepared his finger, and lightly flicked her forehead. Saki screamed dramatically. She complained she was hurt, protested she was just joking around because she was bored, and that he had hit her too hard. Gamma said he had reacted instinctively and apologized. Crying, Saki yelled that her head wasn't a punching bag. She insisted she had been about to wish him luck, but now told him to forget it and stormed off angrily. Gamma couldn't understand Saki's behavior. She barely slept, hovered around him constantly, and became erratic if he didn't react to her antics. Gamma didn't know what truly interested her. Saki was a heroine in the game. Gamma didn't want to get too close or pursue romance with any of them. Thoughts of waifus were pushed aside as the dimensional gate to Avalon Island activated. Students were told to be cautious and enjoy their time on the island. Gamma's sole desire was finding his secret objective quietly, without attracting any trouble. He hoped for the blessing of shadow warding to help hide him from others. Entering the gate, they were all bathed in intense purple light. The island itself was suffused with a strange purple hue, emanating from a large purple orb or magical sun in the sky. Seeing it, Gamma thought that only now, a year into this world, did it feel like a true fantasy setting. This was the sacred land, Avalon. Looking at the purple orb, he identified it from his research as the apple tree of beginning, Yggdrasil, noting the Norse mythology connection. Gamma decided sightseeing was for later, refocusing on his primary objective. With the main characters present, the deserted island arc of the story officially began.